across the sea of life, so much pain, warring divides. It's a shame we don't see how it can be. Oh, we need to smile at each other, wish for your brother.
Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you all.
Oh, we need to honor our mother, shelter our sisters, all to existence. God's help will come from above, but first we need the love.
Welcome to another episode of The Y Factor.
Today is the 10th of March.
And just in case you've forgotten, I am Tasnim.
And I am Miran.
So let's get cracking.
The Y Factor.
In the most breaking news we've covered to date...
Remember our co-host, Mohammed?
The male?
Yeah.
He's back.
You'll realise why the fact that he's male is significant later on in this episode. But yeah, he's back.
And inshallah he'll be joining us from next week onwards.
Inshallah.
In other news...
Now we're really getting down to the important news.
That was just the ego boost for Mohammed.
In Libya, the saga continues. We've got over 6,000 people dead so far. And yesterday, there were actually reports that the Gaddafi family jets had left Libya and headed towards Malta. But Gaddafi came out with a new speech yesterday, so we can all safely assume that he's still there, not leaving yet.
Well, interestingly enough, Gaddafi's mansion in London is actually being occupied by squatters who have named themselves Topple the Tyrant, and they're basically refusing to leave.
Until he leaves Libya.
Well, that's fair enough because, honestly, the situation is really, really getting out of hand.
The BBC news team in Libya was tortured and bashed just for doing their job.
Brutally with fists, and this was reported to have been done by the army and the secret police. So that's really tragic that foreign journalists are being treated this way in this country.
How many weeks in are we reporting about the same issue? I really hope that when next week comes along, we'll be able to tell you that Gaddafi's left.
The Y Factor.
Now, in a disaster closer to home, Pauline Hanson
has come back to New South Wales to run for elections. She wants to have a position in the New South Wales upper house.
Now, apparently, wasn't she Dancing with the Stars? She wasn't too successful?
In London. I remember she said she was leaving Australia because of something along the lines of she didn't like our immigration policy.
Well, interestingly enough, both Labor and Liberal have come out and, not in nice terms, contested her bid. Christina Keneally, the Premier for New South Wales, accused Miss Pauline Hanson of being a racist.
And Pauline says
in reply
that she's not racist.
No, she said Keneally is a nice lady, but she has no clue what she's talking about.
Yeah, but her not racist comment was making headlines yesterday.
Well, she said it's her right to, air her grievances against Australia's immigration and assimilation policies. I mean, she's more than welcome to do that.
I just don't get how she's running for a New South Wales position. I mean, as far as we all know, she's from Queensland and she lives in Queensland.
We endorse racism. Remember 2 weeks ago, Miran, how we're saying 50% of those in New South Wales, are very prejudiced.
I mean, when I found out Pauline Hanson was back, I was thinking maybe the statistics were a result of her moving into New South Wales. But who knows? After all, when she formed One Nation, their statement was that they're actually saying out loud what a lot of people were too afraid to say. So maybe they really are a reflection of a big part of our population.
The Y Factor.
As if train ride experiences weren't painful enough, Miran and I had a near-death experience yesterday.
We were almost squashed to death.
No, like literally, we're not being drama queens as usual.
We got to the station coming home from uni and basically all the trains were delayed for like 40 minutes. And when our train came to the platform was packed with people. The train was already packed. And we're just trying to get onto the carriage and like squeeze ourselves so that the door can actually close.
The train, mind you, was actually running 45 minutes late. The announcer graciously informed us that this was due to a suicidal...
Someone was attempting self-harm in Petersham, which was really strange because Petersham station isn't anyone, like it's not on our line, it's not on the line of many other people who were also delayed. And the delays continued all the way till like 9 p.m. affecting all the New South Wales Lions.
Well, we have a solution for this suicidal person, and our solution is Facebook. You know, Facebook seems to be the solution to everything. Facebook has actually come out with a new suicide alert system. So basically, if you have suicidal friends, what you do is you shoot Facebook an email, you give them details of the incident and any relevant information, and they monitor this person, they let the police know, and they try to prevent such incidences happening, because there have been some that which have occurred as a result of Facebook.
Well, I don't know about the whole Facebook as a solution thing, but personally, I think that it's very disturbing. This is something that's really on the increase lately. I mean, Monday when we were catching the train was delayed because someone did actually commit suicide on one of the train tracks. And I mean, this week is like last week.
Wasn't last week the Strathfield, I think it was?
I'm not sure, but I do know that every time I go to the train station these days, there seems to be something happening. And like, okay, not to take away from the seriousness of the issue of why someone would, you know, be led to the extent of committing suicide, but the thing is, when you do it on the train tracks,
okay, Miran, stop
you're affecting not just yourself, okay, self-harm, but you're also harming those people who have to find out about it and have vivid imaginations. You're affecting train drivers, you're affecting the train guards, and it's just an all-around very, very disturbing experience, okay? And I think that this probably brings our attention to the fact that we need a lot more mental health work in our society. I really think that we need more we have counsellors, but perhaps we need more initiatives out there to support people who have mental illnesses, who have depression. We really need a support network out there, and I hope that these incidents are really bringing it to light.
The Why Factor.
In equally frustrating news, and I do realise that a lot of today's news bulletin is all about my personal rants.
Yes, which we have to tolerate.
You do have to tolerate this, because I've been having to tolerate police choppers going around my house for the past week, okay? The entire area surrounding Bankstown, okay, has been swamped by police choppers, and they're really loud and really annoying. Obviously, that's not the point. The point is, why are they there? Now, 2 days ago, there was actually a reason, thank God. There was some sort of a fire, actually, that happened in Greenacre, closer to the Bankstown North Primary School. So they had to evacuate all the houses around those areas. And alhamdulillah, they managed to contain the fire after a while. But, well, at least there was a reason for it then. Next day, it was there again, and if you guys have any idea why these police choppers are going around, please let us know, because curiosity is just killing me.
Well, I'm just getting vivid imagination of the Tilapia Street happenings a couple of years ago, so let's just hope it's not some drug.
Well, there was actually a Smash Repairs attack today, in the western suburbs, and the police don't really have many details, but there were about 20 men who went and attacked the staff of that smash repair place. So, I mean, if you have any information with relation to that incident, the police would like you to call Crime Stoppers and give them what info you do have.
The Why Factor.
In January 2009, when Obama was re-elected, one of his electoral promises was that Guantanamo Bay would eventually be closed. Now, that's really, really interesting, because in the last week, there's actually been a resumption of the Guantanamo Bay trials. And it's just really, really sad to see this happening again, because it just goes against the electoral promise. And
okay, maybe resuming trials might on the face of it sound like it's a good thing, but it's actually not. Tasnim, explain to us why this is a bad thing.
Because at the moment they've got 170 detainees and 80 which probably would expect to have a trial. Now, these trials, their basic constitutional basis has been contested in the first place. Not just that, having the trials go on means Guantanamo Bay will go on.
Yeah.
And it just means, honestly, this is ridiculous. Like, Times Magazine just reported that Obama's administration's solutions to terror and national security have not been any different from those of the Bush era. Now, although we think, Obama has come out and, revolutionized many things, it's really, really sad to see in such a critical area his policies are not any different from those of the Bush administration.
And it's never good to find out that a president has gone back on his promise. He said he'll close Guantanamo. It's still open. What are we doing about this?
The Why Factor.
Also on the US, as we all know, Julia Gillard is visiting there in her capacity as Prime Minister of Australia. She gave a speech and it brought her 6 rounds of applause, and the Speaker of the House came to tears.
And this basically, she reiterated that she thinks America's role in the world is just so awesome, and Australia will be buddy-buddy with America for the next couple of forever.
Disclaimer, obviously this is not verbatim.
The Y Factor.
In happier news, for those of you who do live on Facebook, now you've got all the more reason to live on Facebook.
Yep, because Warner Brothers will stream some of its movies on Facebook. You'll get charged $3 for renting a film. You have 48 hours to watch it, and the first film to be released will be The Dark Knight. But at the moment, it's only available to US users of Facebook.
The Y Factor.
In other creepier, crawlier kind of news, Mazda has recalled its Mazda 6 sedan cars, 52,000 of them, because it turns out that yellow sac spiders only build webs in those cars' engines. So the webs have been blocking air from getting through, and a bit of a disaster. Cars have been recalled.
The Y Factor.
Interestingly enough, in Sweden, they're actually going to get rid of stamps. So for stamp collectors, go get the stamps before they run out. And the new system is an SMS system in which to post something that you basically get charged through an SMS. They give you a code, and that's what you use to post your items.
And that brings us to the end of our news segment for today. We're going to take a short break before we lead into our feature, which has heaps of important information for both the males and females of our audience. So please stay tuned. You're listening to The Y Factor on 87.6 FM.